Welcome to the Bank First Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight on Northwest Community College. And you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour. Now, here's your host, Gary Darby.
Thursday, March 14th edition of the program, and we thank you, good people in North Mississippi, for being around today. We'll stay with this discussion until close to 10. Today is the Bank First Ranger Hour. Coming up, next segment, Sports Information Director Brian Lentz has agreed to come on with us, give us a little bit of what's going on in the world of athletics. And when that's done, I've edited a little bit of the interview that I had last month with Blake Bostick from the Heindl Center. We'll get the pertinent information that's still going on in March and coming up throughout the rest of the spring and into the summer, and just a little recap there with Blake and just relive a little bit of that interview that we had back early in February. So we will have Brian Lentz and then do a little replay for you at the back portion of the show. It is the Northwest Ranger Hour, and we are going to get an opportunity to catch up with Brian Lentz. After that, we'll chat. We'll let you relive the chat, rather, that we had with Blake Bostick, a couple of minutes worth of that. Pertinent info coming up at the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts. School's out for spring break, and so we might not get the opportunity to do some things with Blake this week. So I thought I could edit that out and get that to you, because you do have the performance of Annie coming up, and I'll fill you in more as the show goes along. But we are underway on a Bank First Ranger Hour. Keep it here, Super Talk's home in North Mississippi, 93.7.
This hour is Everything Northwest, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College, and powered by Bank First. Thanks for joining us on the Bank First Ranger Hour. Join the conversation now by texting 662-426-1093.
You certainly can do that. Anytime this show or any show is on between 9 and 10, the text message line is open, 662-426-1093. Other information will get out to you, but now we're going to the phone lines. Bring in Sports Information Director, friend of program for a long, long time, Brian Lentz. Hello, buddy.
Hey, Gary, how are you?
Good. Thanks for letting me bother your spring break. I really appreciate it.
Well, right now just driving back to Grenada to spend some time with my wife and my in-laws for a little bit until Northwest Baseball plays again on Saturday. So just going to get a couple days seeing some family. And, that's virtually what the spring break's been about, just relaxing and kind of unwinding just a little bit with a little bit of Northwest baseball peppered in there in between. So it's been an overall pretty good spring break.
All right, I saw your social media post on X, Twitter, whatever we call it these days, and you said you were going to have to put a pause on someone's carpool karaoke. What are we singing in the car ride to Grenada?
Well, my wife is a big Celine Dion fan, so she was belting out some Celine Dion, and right now I'm getting a glare from her. Because she did not consent to the tweet that I posted.
Oh,
so,
well, you can tell her it's all my fault. Just it's all my fault.
No. She's laughing about it. No, in all reality, she actually is a pretty good singer. So used to do the national anthem at some games when she was younger.
Excellent.
Ole Miss came. So no, she's a good singer. She's got nothing to be embarrassed about.
Well, maybe she can sing on the way out. Just think about what you want to sing on the way out, and then we'll get to you. We'll figure that out. All right, we've got sports. You mentioned baseball has been going on. I know you've had softball action. Tennis has been rolling. Rodeo actually starts this weekend. Where would you like to start, Mr. Lentz?
Well, we'll start with baseball because the Rangers did play yesterday. They took a brief step out of conference competition, and they hosted Rock Valley College out of Rockford, Illinois. And Northwest got a split. They took game one by a 10-1 final. Scott Sharp had a good outing in that game, improved to 4-1 on the mound. Also, Cade Greer I believe went 3 for 4 at the plate, if my memory serves me correctly. He's been on the tear lately on the offensive side of things for the baseball program. And the Rangers, they did drop Game 2, though. 11-3 was that final score, although I'll preface that by saying that Coach Carson brought in a lot of his backups off the bench and allowed them to get some playing time and get some experience. And Rock Valley has some good bats in their lineup. I'm sure whatever conference they're in Illinois, they'll probably give their fellow conference opponents some trouble, at least at the plate. And, you know, so it's a split for Northwest, good way to, some teams will use their bye date in conference play as a day off, but Coach Carson likes to win those games when he can. And it's a good way to keep the team rolling, and they've been rolling really good as of late. And started off 2-0 in the conference last week with a sweep of Southwest Mississippi. They'll step back into conference play this Saturday when they take on Colin Community College, who I know they at least split with Gulf Coast yesterday because Gulf Coast took Game 1. I didn't see the final in Game 2 of that doubleheader, but it'll be good to have the Rangers get back into conference play, hopefully start off 4-0 if they can get a sweep of the Wolves. But that'll be on Saturday at 2 and 5 p.m. are the start times for that doubleheader. And, of course, we'll have that broadcast on Ranger TV for the fans that can't make it, although I would invite the baseball fans in North Mississippi, if they're in the Minnesota area, to come out and make a game at Jim Miles Field. Coach Carson's got the team playing really well right now, and 16-6 is their record as we go into this weekend's doubleheader. So it'd be a good time to catch the Rangers in action. So,
absolutely.
Saturday at 2-5.
I'm looking at the Colin schedule. They won the second game 7-4, so they did split at Gulf Coast. When we had Coach Carson on prior to the season, I think there was some wondering about the pitching staff and how that would go. I mean, like most teams in the country, you're dealing with arm injuries all over the place in baseball. And I know his thought was what that pitching staff would be like, and it looks like, at least Brian, so far, his pitching staff has held up, gotten them off to this 16-6 start.
They have, and they've done a remarkable job. Scott Sharp, who I mentioned, has been really good. Pitched a complete game shutout against who was then number 1 at the time, Heartland Community College, about 2 weeks ago in Millington. That was a big win for Northwest and a big game for Scott Sharp. And also, Mason Shropshire has been very good for the Rangers. You kind of have that 1-2 punch of Shropshire and Sharp. And then you've got Brennan Jones, a freshman, who has been very good for the Rangers on mound as well. So you got about 3 starting pitchers, I should say, that are getting things done for the Rangers as of now. And then you got James Smith coming on in relief a lot, the North Point Christian alumnus who originally signed with Ole Miss out of high school. He's been really good for Coach Carlini and that pitching staff. And then Carson Fox has come on in relief quite a bit as well. So you're seeing a lot of good pitching despite the injuries. I know losing Connor McCaslin hurt Northwest a lot. Losing a couple other pitchers, McLean Ray, and a few others out for the season. That hurts your pitching staff. And as you mentioned, a lot of other teams are going through the similar situation. But to have that many injuries and to be able to start off the way that Northwest has been an impressive job for sure.
All right, let's talk about Coach Bramlett. Her team nationally ranked again, and next up for them is going to be another nationally ranked team when they play this weekend. But give us some thoughts on softball.
Well, I know starting off with a split at Southwest Mississippi was not what Northwest had in mind. They lost Game 1 last week 2-1, turned around and shut out the Bears in Game 2 by a 5-0 final. But that's one thing where the expectations have been raised the last couple of years for Northwest softball. Splits, even in conference play, are just not really where you want to be anymore. You expect a sweep with just about everybody you play. Now, this weekend may be the exception, considering that Colin has a lot coming back from their national championship team last year, and they're number 4 in the nation right now and off to a hot start too. But I know after last weekend, the Rangers were not satisfied. You know, it was a close loss in Game 1 at Southwest, but as I mentioned, you know, I think they went to, and to the Rangers' credit, they have been good in the circle pitching. Neely Cooper, the sophomore, she has a 5-4 record, has taken a couple hard luck losses, but has done a really good job in the circle, as has the freshman from Mobile, Morgan Bruton, who's 9-0 in the circle, as I might add,
Wow.
and has, I believe, 60 strikeouts and only about 6 walks given up. So she's done a remarkable job making an impact right away for Coach Bramlett. And at the plate, you've got Kaylee Owens, you've got Kara Johnson, you've got a player who's come on strong really late these last couple of games, Hannah Grace-Gillian, a transfer from ICC, has really been hitting the ball well and has inserted herself into the starting lineup. So Northwest is still fairly balanced, fairly stacked, but both at the plate and in the circle. So it'll be interesting to see what they do this weekend in Weston. I believe that's a 1 and 3 p.m. start time for those doubleheaders down there. And then they'll be back at home next week. So plenty of chances coming up to watch Northwest softball team in action as well.
Excellent. Let's move into tennis, if you don't mind. And I know we've got that season rolling. And how are both the men and women's tennis clubs doing?
Well, the men's tennis team finally got their first win of the season last week against Southwest Mississippi. The women, meanwhile, have been on a roll. Coach Andy Wolf in his first season has gotten the Lady Rangers ranked in the national ITA rankings. They were ranked number 21. So first time that the Lady Rangers have been ranked since the program restarted. And, you know, the men, it was kind of the opposite. You know, the men, we talked a lot about them last year and what they were doing, and they got to the national tournament. And the script has kind of flipped a little bit because now that's the women doing the same thing the men were doing last year. And the women are easily contenders for the national tournament as well, given where they are at right now. So, and in defense of the Northwest men, I will say this, you know, it's an entirely new team. It's all freshmen. They had a lot of sophomore transfers last year that kind of stacked up the roster. And so Coach Wolf kind of had to build from the ground up with the men's tennis program, whereas the women had some returning players in their lineup. So, you know, having some international student athletes that will come in next season, that'll help in more than just tennis. It'll help in soccer. It'll help in golf. Various sports at Northwest that will be able to have some international student athletes. But tennis, they've done a pretty remarkable job, and so hats off to the Lady Rangers, and I'm excited to see what the second half of the season has in store for them.
And just a couple other things, and then I'll leave you guys alone. We've got rodeo starting this weekend, correct? And if you don't mind, kind of a recap, because I know basketball just ended for the women's side of things in the Region 23 tournament. But whatever you want to take and however you want to finish it up, go ahead.
Well, with rodeo, it's one of those things that, you know, we talked about in the fall because of how the men finished. You know, they won their last event of the fall portion of the season, and they're, you know, now in second place in the region standings, which as a team, that's huge. Somewhere in where Northwest Rodeo has not been in a very long time. And so Coach Will Loomis and his squad, they are traveling today to Meridian, which is, of course, a relatively short trip compared to some of the others. The East Mississippi Rodeo, it'll begin tonight at 7, and it'll roll all the way through Saturday night down there. I think it's the Lauderdale County Agricultural Center down there in Meridian. I could be wrong on the specific location, but it is in Meridian. And it'll kickstart 2 rodeos back-to-back in Mississippi because they'll go to Poplarville next week for the PRCC rodeo at Pearl River. So it's a good chance for not only the men but also the women to climb in the standings and try to get some athletes to the National Finals rodeo again like they did last year in Wyoming. So we'll keep an eye on that, have that update for you on NWCCRangers.com. And as you mentioned with women's basketball, closing the book on their season, Coach Laterra Williams got his team to a 15-11 overall record, suffered a first-round loss to a scrappy Meridian team in the postseason, but pretty much actually did more than double the win total from last year. So good credit to the Lady Rangers for what they were able to do this year and make things exciting. And then lastly, one of the other things I wanted to touch on real quick, at least in the realm of professional Rangers, is that, NFL free agency has kicked up quite a bit. And you've had Gardner Minshew, who signed with the Las Vegas Raiders, signed a 2-year deal with them, and I can only imagine Minshew in Vegas. I think they need a reality show following him around.
No doubt.
Out there. But, he did a good job with the Colts this past season after Anthony Richardson went down and almost got the Colts to the playoffs. So, good job to Minshew for signing that deal with the Raiders. I think it'll be exciting to see what he's able to do here in the future. And also to Damian Lewis, who signed a 4-year deal with the Carolina Panthers. Was a big anchor on the Seahawks offensive line the last couple of years and is going to get even more money and a good portion of a guaranteed contract with Carolina. So, interesting to watch what our Rangers do at the next level and in the pros, and hopefully we'll have some at the 4-year level in March Madness in basketball here in the coming weeks. We'll see where the selection show falls for that. But really just anything and everything regarding Northwest Athletics you can follow on nwccrangers.com and also our Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, social media page at NWCC_Rangers.
Great job by you for joining us as you travel, and great job in what you do, and Brian Oakley and what you guys do, and also everyone that's involved on your Ranger TV, any of the broadcasts that are there. Just a tremendous job, Brian. Thanks. And now, is there a song, or should I just play something and go into break?
Amanda says just play something.
Just play something.
I don't think she's going to do the singing voice for everybody.
Thank her for playing along with old Darb here today, and I appreciate you guys for what you do, Brian. Thanks so much.
All right, appreciate it, Gary.
Okay, Brian Lentz with us, Sports Information Director there at Northwest Community College, giving us a breakdown of everything. Sports going on now, some have ended, and it's all at nwccrangers.com to keep up with it. It's 9:30.
Thanks for listening to the Bank First Ranger Hour, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College on SuperTalk Mississippi 93.7 and streaming live at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour.
Coming up later on today, you'll be able to find this in podcast form anywhere around. I will send it off and we'll let you listen again. If you missed any of that with Brian Lentz, it will be on podcast form at some point later. And then here in this segment, we're going to relive a little bit of an interview from early February when Blake Bostick was on one of these Thursday programs. He is the director of the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts. And I'll get to that in a little bit. We cut out, or I cut out, some of the things that we talked about that was for the month of February and got us to the point of what's left here in March and then the rest of the spring and then into the summer, and we'll hear that in just a bit. But the only thing worse than bad signage is no sign at all. You can avoid both of those problems by visiting our friends at Copy Time Oxford. Yard signs, you need a banner, they've got that. They do it right. They do it in a timely manner. Bernard gets all that signage need taken care of for you, so what you need to do is email Bernard, copytimeoxford.com, or their phone number is 234-COPY. That's 662-234-2679 if you want to know where they're located, whether on the square in Oxford next to Safari Wine and Spirits, and the Flamingo, 407 South 11th Street in Oxford. Copy Time Oxford. Now we'll grab that conversation, or at least parts of that conversation that I had in early February with Blake, just kind of catching up with him. We'll get some of those catch-up questions and some things that you'll be able to go and see at the Heindl Center here at the end of this month, the rest of the spring, and into the summer.
Oh, it has been wonderful. I tell people all the time, I have the coolest job on campus.
Yeah.
I get to be in show business, be on a beautiful community college campus here in Senatobia, in this beautiful building that opened just over a year ago. And it's really been a pleasure. We have so much fun over here, and it's been a great start to 2024.
What else is going on in the world of performing arts there at the Heindl Center?
And then we're going to return back to the musical theater. We have the touring Tony Award-winning Broadway musical Annie on March the 26th, which we are really excited about. It's a huge production. It's got children. It's got live dogs. It's really going to be a great time. And then after that, we've got another musical, family-friendly musical. That's Dog Man coming up on April the 20th. And then we're rounding out the spring season with 3 incredible concerts. We've got Colton Dixon here on May the 17th. We've got American Idol winner Ruben Studdard here on June the 12th. And then Mississippi native Leanne Rhymes will be here on June the 29th. And that was recently rescheduled from April because Leanne had some other engagements, had to reschedule all of her spring tour dates. So she's out of the country for a while, but we actually have the first show when she gets back to the United States on June the 29th with Leanne Rhymes.
Excellent. Can we still get packages, season tickets? Can we still do things? Because I guess if we're still looking for gift ideas or different things, we can obviously, I assume, still do that and get some tickets to future shows?
Yeah, so the season ticket package is no longer on sale since the season has already started,
right.
But we do have really what is our most popular package is a Pick 5 package, and so we still have quite a number of shows left in the season, so you can choose 5 of those, and you get a discount when you purchase all 5. We also have our Fantastic Females package, and so that allows you to get the Hedy Lamarr show, the Leanne Rhymes show, and of course Annie in March. All 3 of those at a discounted rate too. So yeah, there's definitely time to still purchase tickets either at HeindlCenter.org or here at our box office Monday through Friday from 12 to 4:30.
You know, one of the things we do with our youngsters each night is either we read to the littlest one or the 9-year-old has to read something, and he's big into the Dogman books. And the other day, he was reading, and I looked at him, and I said, there's a Dogman the Musical coming close by soon. Big eyes, man. I mean, like, eyes lit up. And so, for those that may not, have the kiddos, they may not understand. That's something big, too, that you're bringing in. And when we look at country music acts, Cal Ripken for the baseball fans, things for the kids, you guys are kind of pulling it all together with your shows.
Yeah, we really try to have a diverse season here and have something for everyone. I have a 10-year-old son, and he's thrilled about Dogman coming here as well. He's been a big fan of Dogman for a long time, so it's excited to see that one brought to life here in a couple of months at the Heindl Center. So yeah, we definitely try to have something for everyone and things that you can bring the whole family to. And it's really a good time, a great venue for those who haven't been here. Of course, I work here, and so I'm supposed to say this, but I've been to a million shows, plays, concerts, all kinds of different things, and it really is just a fantastic place to see a live performance on our stage. There's not a bad seat in the house. It's a very comfortable venue. It's easy to get here from over in Lafayette County. It's just a short drive down 6 and up 55. From DeSoto County, just a short drive down 55. Free parking, easy in, easy out, comfortable seats. You really couldn't ask for a better performing arts experience than what we offer here at the Heindl Center.
I have to ask before I let you go, and I'm sure you can't do anything but tease us just a little bit, working on things for the fall and even into 2025. What can we expect, or what do you hope for the final portion of the year and then moving into what you may book for 2025 even?
Oh, absolutely. We have all kinds of secrets that I can't share right now, but they are exciting secrets. And so, yeah, we definitely are continuing with that diversity of programming, a little bit of Broadway, touring Broadway musicals, some concerts, some headliners, some variety-type acts. So we really keep it fresh, and there's some exciting things to come here at the Heindl Center.
So there you had a little bit of that conversation again with Blake Bostick. We have some great things going on at the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts. Go to their website as well, HEINDL Center.org, and you can find season packages that we were talking about, what you might be interested in, how you could get tickets to the March 26th performance of Annie, and then Dogman the Musical is in April. He mentioned Colton Dixon, which is in May, and it just continues all throughout and with great shows and easy, as he said, for us to get to wherever it might be. And so there are different things you can do, too, if you like the performing arts, you like helping out. There's ways that you can, be a donor. You can help out there. You can volunteer. They still need some people and performances and things of that nature for you to go. So you can go to HeindlCenter.org. You can learn all about the Performing Arts Center. You can also see the calendar of events. You can buy tickets. You can plan your visit. You can go to season packages. You can do all of that at HeindlCenter.org. Find out what's next in the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts. Beautiful facility right there on the main campus in Senatobia, the Heindl Center for the Performing Arts. Next thing up is Annie, and it will be on the 26th, so 12 days away. Get your tickets, HeindlCenter.org. That's where you go. It is the Bank First Ranger Hour. We are discussing things in the Northwest Community College world. We shall come back and finish it all up next and get done on this Thursday here on Super Talk in North Mississippi 93.7.
We're talking Rangers this hour. Thanks for joining us for the Bank First Ranger Hour. It's a special conversation about Northwest Community College. There's a campus near you, and you can join the conversation by texting to 662-426-1093.
And we'll put the finishing touches on this Bank First Ranger Hour. We discussed this last week when we talked with Alyssa Algie about the theater department at Northwest. They had, a performance that happened last week, and then coming up in April, starting on Friday the 12th, they will put on the production of the theater classic Boeing, like, the airline, right? The Boeing. So it's she mentioned 3 stewardesses and she gave us the whole rundown, and sounds like a very great performance set in 1960s France. And so you follow characters around French, German, Italian, Americans, and so you will get that coming up at the Fine Arts Auditorium for 2 weeks in April. Friday the 12th and the 13th, it will be at 7. On Sunday, you get a matinee performance at 2, and then the following weekend, they'll do it again on Friday the 19th, Saturday the 20th at 7, and then Sunday the 21st at 2. So it's at the Northwest Community College Fine Arts Auditorium. Tickets are $10 for general admission. Northwest students, free admission with your Northwest ID. And so that will be happening in the world of theater, and the Northwest students that are putting on yet another performance. Again, that comes up in mid-April. We'll pass along that information for you. All right, that's going to wrap us up as far as our Bank First Ranger Hour is concerned. We thank Brian Lentz for being on with us and chatting with us about Northwest Community College sports. And then we relived a little bit with Blake Bostick there on what's going on at the Heindl Center. Spring break for the college, they'll get back into it, and we'll find out our guests for next week's program, and we'll do this again next Thursday between 9 and 10. But for now, show done. Put it in the books. The Bank First Ranger Hour on the Thursday, March 14, 2024 is done. And we thank you again for being all a part of it. Gerard's Middays program's next. We talk tomorrow, 9:06. So long.
Now the time has come for leaving, fear, now we shall return.